The spiritual danger of making oaths. Have you ever made a promise so deep, so intense, that it echoed in your soul long after the words left your lips? Perhaps you vowed loyalty to someone who betrayed you, or swore never to love again after heartbreak. Maybe you made a silent pact with yourself in a moment of grief or rage. These words may seem like whispers into the wind, but in the world of spiritual energy, an oath is not a whisper. It is a binding force, a thread that ties the soul to a pattern, a consequence, a destiny. Across the ancient mystery schools, from the temples of Egypt to the hidden sanctuaries of the Essenes, oaths were never taken lightly. The moment one gave their word before the divine, it was believed that the entire universe reoriented itself to hold the promise in place. Some oaths created harmony. Others became spiritual chains. What if the very words you spoke years ago are still shaping your reality today? In this video, we're going to explore the spiritual danger of making oaths, a forgotten teaching with immense consequences. We'll journey through hidden histories, lost rituals, and the metaphysical mechanics of spoken word. We'll reveal why spiritual traditions treated vows with awe and terror. You'll learn how oaths can bind your energy across lifetimes and how to unravel those that no longer serve your path. But this is not just a tale of caution. This is an invitation to reclaim your voice, your freedom, and your spiritual sovereignty. Because in the esoteric teachings, it is not just the word that holds power. It is the intention behind the word and the awareness with which it is spoken. So, before we go any further, take a moment, reflect. What promises have you made in anger, in pain, in desperation? And could those words be echoing still? Historical and philosophical context. Throughout the ancient world, oaths were never seen as simple agreements. They were acts of spiritual creation, invisible contracts sealed by intention, vibration, and the unseen laws of the cosmos. In ancient Egypt, priests and initiates would undergo long periods of purification before taking an oath. These weren't just moral or ceremonial promises. The Egyptians believed that every word spoken resonated in Ma'at, the universal order. An oath that violated Ma'at would not only fracture a person's spiritual balance, but ripple outward, disturbing the harmony of their entire life. In Vedic India, the concept of Vakshakti, the power of speech, was held sacred. Words were believed to carry Shakti, spiritual energy. A vow once spoken was a current that began flowing toward a specific outcome, powered by the soul itself. To break that flow was to interfere with karma and potentially invoke energetic backlash. The Pythagoreans, guardians of sacred geometry and sound, maintained silence for years before being allowed to speak during rituals. Why? Because they believed the voice shaped reality. Any vow spoken carelessly could entangle one's destiny, like a seed planted in cursed soil. And in esoteric Christianity, we find the haunting phrase, "By your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned." Not metaphorically, but literally. Even in modern-day occult traditions, the oath is regarded as a powerful magical act. In ceremonial magic, when a practitioner swears to uphold a principle or protect a secret, that vow creates a psychic tether, binding them to the spirit of the tradition, the egregore, or even the divine force invoked. These teachings suggest that an oath, spoken in anger, fear, desperation, or even love, becomes a living contract with reality. A contract that does not forget. Not in a year, not in a lifetime, sometimes not even after death. In the next section, we'll explore how this plays out in the modern world. How everyday promises, emotional declarations, and unconscious vows can limit your energy, affect your relationships, and block your spiritual growth. Real-world consequences and modern manifestations. In our modern world, the idea of oaths might seem outdated, something reserved for courts, ceremonies, or storybooks. But the truth is, we're still making oaths. We're just doing it unconsciously. Have you ever said any of the following? I'll never trust anyone again. I'll always protect them no matter what. If I fail, I don't deserve to live. I swear I will never let this happen again. In esoteric understanding, these aren't just emotional outbursts. They are energetic blueprints. Your subconscious mind and the subtle layers of your being treat these declarations as contracts. And what happens when you break them or live by them too rigidly? A vow of never trusting again can create a wall around your heart, keeping you stuck in loneliness. A vow of lifelong loyalty to someone, even long after they've left or hurt you, can bind your energy to them across time and space. A vow made during trauma or heartbreak can turn into a spiritual cage, repeating the same karmic pattern until consciously revoked. Some of the most powerful and invisible limitations in our lives are caused not by outer circumstances, but by these unexamined inner oaths. This is especially true for people on a spiritual path. Many sensitive souls unknowingly carry vows from past lives. Vows of poverty from lives as monks or nuns, which now block abundance. Vows of celibacy that create confusion in modern relationships. Vows of secrecy that make speaking your truth feel dangerous. These vows may have served a purpose once, but now they limit your expansion. And unless they are brought to light and consciously released, they continue to echo, shaping your choices, attracting repeating situations, and distorting your energy field. This is why many spiritual teachers emphasize awareness before affirmation. Because in spiritual law, words are spells, and every vow is a spell cast upon the self. In the next section, we'll dive into how to identify the oaths you may be carrying, consciously or unconsciously, and what to do to release them safely and respectfully. How to identify and release spiritual oaths. If you've ever felt stuck, blocked, or as if something invisible is holding you back, even after doing all the right spiritual practices, you may be living under the influence of an unbroken oath. But how do you find them? 1. Listen to the language of your patterns. Begin by noticing the phrases that echo in your inner world. Ask yourself, do I frequently think or say things like, I always, I never, I can't, I must? Do I feel irrational guilt, fear, or pressure around specific people or choices? Is there a repeating struggle, financial, emotional, relational, that feels strangely unbreakable? Often, buried within these loops is a vow you once made. Sometimes in this life, sometimes long before it. 2. Meditative recall. Sit in quiet meditation and gently ask, what vow or promise have I made that no longer serves my soul? Allow images, feelings, or words to rise. Trust the first impressions. The truth often arrives not as a loud answer, but as a subtle remembering. 3. Dream symbols and emotional triggers. Unresolved oaths can surface in dreams as chains or contracts, mouth sewn shut, locked doors, or repeating locations. They can also emerge during emotional triggers, especially when you feel an intense reaction disproportionate to the situation. These are all breadcrumbs pointing to old spiritual agreements seeking resolution. How to release a vow safely. 1. Name it. Clarity is the first act of power. Say aloud what the vow was and when it was likely made. 2. Acknowledge its purpose. Say, at the time I made this vow, I believed it was necessary. I honor the part of me that created it for protection or growth. 3. Revoke it with intention. Speak this or create your own variation. I now release this vow across all time, space, dimensions, and realities. It no longer serves my highest truth. I forgive myself and all others involved. I reclaim my energy, my freedom, and my divine sovereignty. 4. Burn or bury something physical, optional ritual. Write the vow on paper, then burn it safely or bury it under moonlight. This grounds the release into the physical world. 5. Reaffirm your soul's current path. Replace the old contract with a conscious one. Example, I now vow to live in alignment with my soul's truth in freedom, clarity, and love. This practice is not about rejecting the past, it's about evolving beyond it. Vows are powerful, but so is your awareness. The soul's journey is not one of eternal contracts, but of continual awakening. In the final section, we'll reflect on the deeper message behind all vows, why words hold such weight in spiritual evolution, and how to speak with power from this moment forward. Final reflection, the sacred weight of your words. In the ancient mystery schools, it was taught that the universe began with a sound, a word. Not just spoken, but declared with intention. This was not a metaphor. It was a reminder. Your words are acts of creation. Each one builds, binds, blesses, or burdens. When you make a vow spoken aloud or silently felt, you are not just expressing emotion. You are authoring a reality. You are making a contract with the very fabric of existence. This is why the sages, mystics, and initiates of old were trained in silence before speech. They understood that words, once spoken, echo far beyond what the ears can hear. That to say never or always or I swear is to place your soul inside a structure. One that either empowers your evolution or imprisons it. But here is the most important truth. What has been spoken in the past can be unspoken in the present. You are not a prisoner of old vows. You are the voice that made them. And you are the voice that can dissolve them. In releasing the promises that no longer serve your path, you open space for higher ones. Conscious commitments aligned not with fear or pain, but with freedom, light, and your awakened will. So speak with care. Speak with reverence. Speak as if every word plants a seed in your destiny, because it does. And the next time you feel the urge to say, I swear, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this a cage or a doorway?